The man was shocked to discover that his new boss was actually his ex-girlfriend, and 4 years ago, she was the one who initiated the breakup. In fact, she had even humiliated me in front of our classmates. I never expected that he would now become my subordinate. He quickly started covering his face. I recognized him at first glance and, without pausing, said mockingly, "Why are you hiding so much? Are you afraid someone might recognize you?" He lied and said that he didn't rest well yesterday. I said, "Since you aren't feeling well, to give you an early release, I'll assign you a whole week's worth of work." The coworkers also started to feel that there was a different kind of relationship between us. When I looked at him again, the memories instantly took me back to our college days. Back then, I was the most beautiful girl on campus. He fell in love with me at first sight. Knowing that I am a billionaire's daughter, he even changed his major just to pursue me. When he came to report, I teased him again. Just then, a coworker who was listening very intently opened the door and walked in. The atmosphere suddenly became awkward. At that exact moment, my eyes fell on his hand. He was still wearing the same bracelet that I had given him back then. When the coworkers found out that I was his ex-girlfriend, everyone was shocked. At that same moment, I went up to him and invited him to leave the office together, but he rejected it and said that he had to go pick up his daughter from school. At that moment, I felt a little disappointed, but I didn't know that the daughter he was talking about was actually his sister's child. He went to pick her up and was about to return when he saw me standing in the distance. He was afraid his niece might blurt out the truth, so he hurried to leave. But the little girl heard him being called Papa and instantly said that she was his niece. I felt an immediate sense of relief. The girl also mentioned that her uncle has tons of photos of me on his phone. This made me feel like he still cares about me. My thoughts went back to our college days again. Back then, we truly loved each other, imagined having many children, and promised to get married. But for some reason, we suddenly grew apart. I too had safely kept all of our photos by myself. Later, I called him into my office. I threw an evaluation sheet straight in front of him. It was a termination notice for his job. He thought that I was the one who did it. Out of anger, he slammed the papers on the table but accidentally spilled a cup of water. The water splashed all over my skirt. He handed me some tissues and started picking up the papers that fell on the floor, but I suddenly panicked because our photos were inside those papers. In my panic, I bumped into the table. Seeing this, his heart ached, and he instinctively took care of my wound right away. At that exact moment, the secretary suddenly walked in. He was about to pack his things and leave, but I stopped him. I told him, "From today on, you are my personal assistant." To see the rest of the story, send a red heart in the comments.